You're listening to another Geek Pride podcast.
What's up, everybody? Matt Geary, Geek Pride. Prior to the Geek Pride cast, just a public service announcement. The first sort of 3 or 4 minutes of this podcast will be quite loud in the Matt Geary area because he stupidly had his audio up too loud. It gets realised quick on and turned down, but just a heads up, if you've got your headphones in and you suddenly are like, oh my god, he's stupidly loud, doesn't go on forever. It's only the first couple of minutes. I personally blame Mike Orvis. It was definitely him who did the thing, and it was not Matt forgetting to check his levels prior to podcast. But anyway, enjoy yourself, enjoy the podcast, and carry on. Matt Geary for the Geek Pride cast on this.
That's how we started.
Yes, that was it. We were talking about vampires. Mike was talking about vampires. Good to have you back, Mike. On this Tuesday evening. So yes, we have Mike Orvis, who doesn't seem to like Sunday dinners at this moment in time.
Oh my god! What a day! It's not Sunday dinners that I have a problem with. If you really want me to go into this, I'll go into it.
Right. Well, we'll introduce the new guy who hasn't been on the podcast for ever. Bevan.
Nope.
Board games.
Hi.
Clintworthy. What have you been doing, man? We've missed you.
I've been busy. 2 kids. I've got 2 kids now. Not that
Keep it in your pants.
That would be terrible.
Keep it in your pants. It's like you and Ben Fee, didn't really sort of get the whole sort of sex education thing. It's just like, so if I stick it in her, it's okay. No kids. Baby making machines. Anyway, yeah. Loving the board games, by the way, Bevan. Loving the background. It's epic.
Thank you very much. Some would call it an addiction.
Turtles, but no one's.
Mike, you have what have you got in the back? You've got some Pringles. You've got some
Turtles. That's where I keep my change. That's true story. Those aren't Pringles. That's just where I keep my change. And then so then you got over here.
A lonely. Who's the lonely guy on top of the shelf there? By the way, you got something.
That's Mecha Godzilla. The reason he's on his own is because I used him recently to make a video for my channel. I don't know whether you've been watching a lot of YouTube recently, but everyone seems to be getting sponsorship from War Robots,
right? Okay.
Which is like this shitty, shocking mobile game. And I was like, "There's no way I'm going to get it." So basically, what I did was I was like. At the end of one of my videos, I was like, "Yeah, this," and I've got like a little Pez as well. There's other stuff on the shelf. I'll show you in a second. But basically, I went, yeah, and I'd like to thank War Robots for sponsoring this video, and just made a video where I'm like, "Oh, War Robots is a fantastic new mobile game where you can," but yeah, that's what I did. That's what I do in my spare time.
Wow.
Ridiculous fucking YouTube videos. Nothing.
Okay, Mike. Tell before we move on. Tell us why you don't like Sunday dinners, please.
It's not even that I don't like Sunday dinners. I'm quite clearly, by the size of me, I'm quite partial to a dinner. But the problem that I've got is just banal conversation, and where I work. Let's try and be as vague as possible. I work somewhat within the education sector. So when schools are on holiday, there's not a lot of the team that I work in because they can't talk to schools. But I'm a permanent member of staff, and I do emails and research and all kinds of fascinating stuff. So I had like 2 weeks where it was really quiet and nice. There's a person who sits behind me, and just the most boring human being in the world, and every day for 7.5 hours, I just hear about the jumpers that they're wearing and where they went to the shops.
Mike, just bear with me 1 minute, actually, before you carry on there. I have a feeling maybe microphone issues on my end, possibly. Can somebody just check? Can somebody just check the feed? Because I have a feeling, because my little microphone thing is going like this, and I wasn't talking, so I think there's going to be a lot.
You sound fine.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, my bad. It was just kind of spazzing out, and I was like, shit. Obviously, there might be noise in the background, but there you go. Sorry, carry on your story. My apologies.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. You're quite loud. Like you seem to be quite.
You're a bit close.
You're very You're like right here in the microphone. It's distorting quite heavily. But
okay.
Apart from that, you sound fine. I look properly gormless though. Like listening to you, I'm like. So that's good. Okay. Sorry, the world.
I've turned my gain down. Let's check that out. Turn my gain down. No red thing going on here. That should be fine. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. So it's just like completely banal conversation. I can't. I'm not wired that way. Like I barely do it. I make a lot of sales calls, and I barely do it with sales. Like, unless they bring it up, like, oh, the weather, or holiday, or something, I won't do that. Like, I don't think that's rapport building. I think that's false and horrible. Like, I'd rather, if something weird happens on the call, focus in on that and be like, oh, that was strange. Like, oh, that kid smacked his head against a window. Ah, that's funny. Does that happen a lot? And then, you actually have a genuine conversation about the weird stuff that kids do in schools. As opposed to, oh, it's nice and sunny where we are. I don't care. Am I where you are? Am I at work? Right. Well, then, what the fuck does it matter if it's sunny? It just means the office is marginally hotter than it would have been. And then, but it's just there's people behind me, and there's like a girl and a guy, and they're just, you know the phrase "iron sharpens iron."
No, I've never heard that before.
You never heard the phrase "iron sharpens iron"?
No,
nope, that's not.
That's like, I would have thought you of all people, Gary, would know that. I know it from the context of training in Muay Thai. They say, like, when you spar with someone, if you Google it, iron sharpens iron, but it's supposed to be like a, men sharpen, men make men better, and all that kind of bravado sort of shit. But in this case, it's like cotton making cotton more cottony, and it's just honestly the most boring fucking thing. And I'm just like, it makes me work harder because I just want to be on the phone more. But my God, if I have to send an email, yeah, man, honestly, like if I have to send an email and I'm trying to focus and be like, right, I've got to be a bit creative here, got to be a bit, give it a bit of pizzazz. And I'm just hearing like, yeah, well, I got a jumper from Marks, and then I took it back because it was too thin, and then there was a scratch on one of the shoes. Like, no one fucking cares. No one cares. Honestly, it's horrible. But I subtly undermined them about their job today, and then they shut up in a huff all day. So,
what do you mean? You subtly undermined them?
I used to be a manager of this team, and one of my colleagues came over to help them with a computer problem, and they were notoriously bad for computer problems. So I sort of patted him on the back and went, mate, good to see that my problems never ended, And then they were like, I wasn't always that bad. I was like, yeah, you pretty much have been. Yeah. And then they just turned around and shit, and they were like, I don't care. Anyway, this is well boring. Hello.
Hi.
No one needs to know about the intricacies of doing a day job.
No.
Still
haven't been invited on to the other podcast, by the way. You're on my podcast all the fucking time. You're on here all the time.
Fucking website. Everything's your podcast.
All I want is one shot at a Lord of the Rings pitch.
Oh, I thought you wanted to come on a gentlemanly chat, get nice and deep, talk about your feelings.
Right. We could do that. You could do that as well if you want.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it'd be quite good. It'd be quite good to get to the core of Geary. But yeah, I didn't know that the season was ending when the season was ending. Like, I think you even hear it in the podcast. The last episode of season 2 is coming out next week, and I think the guys are like, yeah, this is the last episode. I'm like, all right. Cool, because it's just been a hell of a season to try and put together for various reasons. Because Ben Fee won't stop having kids. and then I got like hella sad, and then Callum went off the radar. So it's just been one of those, one of those things where you're like, I love the idea in principle, but actually carrying it out right now has been a bloody nightmare. We finally kind of got back together. We had a big chat, hugged it out, got our nips out, man stuff, and now we're fine. So,
I'm glad, to be honest, because you work very well together. I have to say, the three of you are amusing to listen to, because you've each got your own sort of dynamic, and Ben has when Ben sort of speaks, does his stories, it just reminds me of doing RPGs with him when he used to do our RPG and stuff. Kind of makes me miss doing the RPGs, because he's quite good at articulating. Not that you're all very good at articulating yourselves, but Ben has this way, and it's just like, oh wow, yeah, he's just like a living dungeon master. He seems to be able to describe things quite well.
I like listening to. I like going against Ben, because it means I get to like just listen. Whereas like when it's Ben versus Callum, I have to really pay attention to Callum. Like the last Marvel one that went up, I really wanted, like, I loved Callum's idea. Yeah. But it was just like such a clusterfuck. Bevan, if you don't listen, we do a movie podcast where we pitch movie ideas. Two people pitch movie ideas, and then the third person is the judge and kind of picks the winner. And the highlights thus far have been me sneaking Godzilla into a laptop.
Yes, mate. I listened to that like literally yesterday, and I was like, Is he actually going to put a Godzilla into a Lovecraft pitch?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, Godzilla, he's fighting Cthulhu, boom. And it's just like, right, okay.
Yeah,
right.
But, like, I think the whole thing, like, from the first fight with Biolante, spoilers, it's spoilers to a movie that doesn't exist, except for in my brain, and now on a podcast. But from the first fight for Biolante, and then the cult leaders, and, like, all this other stuff, I think there's enough foreshadowing in the movie for then, the payoff to be you fight Cthulhu. I thought it was cool.
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think when we're on, like, it's awesome. Like if I've really given thought to a pitch, like listen to the Ninja Turtles pitch, for example, which had been sitting in my brain for fucking years, then it's awesome, and I'd like to think I spin a good yarn. But when it's a pitch that I've thought of 5 seconds before the start of the episode, you can tell. People seem to like it. Like from the feedback I've had from people that I know and that have bothered to message me, like they seem to like it. The only one they don't like, weirdly, and this isn't like a dig, but from what people have told me, so this is purely anecdotal, but people have said they didn't really like the Smash Bros one, and that was one I wasn't in. So I don't know, maybe the dynamic was affected, or maybe I'm brilliant.
I'm trying to think which one I quite like the most. I
love this. I love pitching. I love pitching Star Wars 9. I love pitching the Ninja Turtles. I love the end of season 1 where I basically hate fuck a Power Rangers pitch because I'm so sick of Ben, basically gaming the system, because Ben will take a pitch and he'll think about who the judge is going to be and cater that pitch towards the judge. And I didn't realise this until about like the second to last episode of season 1. I was like, you motherfucker. So then I ended up like doing a Power Rangers pitch, and I love Power Rangers. And I think I mention it in either the last episode or the next episode that's going up. I was like, I'm really gutted that I did such a shocking pitch, but I literally just did a by the numbers Power Rangers pitch, and like the entire time I'm like, yeah, then Tommy does something cool, I suppose, because that's what kids want to see, and then this happens because that's boring, and then this, and then this, and I was like, and I guess that's the end. And Callum's like, I would want to watch that movie more than Ben's movie, but I can't give it to you because you don't care. I was like, you're right, I don't care. Yeah. It's a fun little podcast. And,
I quite like Ben's Pac-Man one, where it was like an exosuit. It's just like, where the fuck did he get that from? But yeah, it was amazing. It was like a horror film meets sort of thing, and it was just like, that's kind of cool. I think I would watch that, yeah. So yeah, there was some really good. I quite like the Green Lantern one. That was quite a good one as well. Or was it Green Lantern?
It wasn't really a Green Lantern one, but it
the Superman 2 pitch.
Yeah, but it turned into a Green Lantern
turned
one.
into a Green Lantern movie. Yeah.
That was quite good. But yeah, for anybody who hasn't listened to it, it's our sister podcast, brother podcast, whatever you want to. Great uncle, big beardy Mike podcast. Pitch, please. It's on everywhere basically. iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, the website. Give it a listen. They take a while. You know, you don't get regular content like you do in the Geek Pride cast, but you get quality content.
Double speed on that one.
You get it every other week when it's on season, when it's off season. There's only been 2 seasons, so we don't have enough data. Thank you to create a hypothesis. So
I think you need this sort of. I reckon you should get some guest judges in to do things like just get guests from like people like who do like films like what's this?
People who do films. I'll just ring up some directors.
Well, no, but just I don't know, just
comedy director.
You could try. I think you could try. I reckon you could get some random people in to sort of. You know, even if it's like Jamie McKellar, our very own Jamie McKellar.
I fucking love Jamie. I've got a lot of time for that gentleman.
Yeah.
He's a goddamn legend.
He is, and he's currently doing his own movie at the minute. They are Chesterburg. Is that what it's called? It's Chesterburg.
No, it is called Chesterburg.
Yeah,
it was something else.
So he is currently editing that. It's basically a British sort of slasher horror movie, but I'm guessing
it's like the Purge Brexit edition or something.
Okay.
From what I've seen, it seems pretty cool. For those of you that want to watch, want to see some top quality content, you should watch Jamie's series I Am Tim.
Oh yeah.
The second season goes a bit strange, but he'll be the first to admit that. I'm not just being hypercritical, but it's sort of like it's like Shaun of the Dead, the documentary, but he's a monster hunter, kind of, if I had to like condense it down. But it is fucking hilarious. Jamie's a fantastic writer and a very funny.
You get somebody like that on, or somebody just, if you're missing somebody, Ben's having sex again, making more children. Callum's gone fucking AWOL because
it's a full moon.
Yeah, it's because that's what he does. Yeah. Just get somebody else.
Just every time there's a storm, I think he's trying to conceive the Antichrist. Oh he's trying to time it with a lightning strike,
or our very own Bevan Clatworthy. There you go.
Fuck yeah. But like anyone's allowed on. Like it's not like a no.
Oh, are they, Michael? Are they, Michael? Because I've been trying to get on that podcast and for fucking ages, and I pay for it.
Oh, there we fucking go. Right. The man who regularly attends medieval banquets and worrying about £15 a month on a podcast. Should we get into that, shall we, Matt? Yeah.
I you know what? I don't want to be from Noah's Arcade.
On the same day that you chased me, you were like, I'm paying £15 a month. Run. You fucking backed the hate Kickstarter and was like, I spent £400 on this board game. I'm like, all right, Monopoly man, fuck off with your £15 a month.
Excuse me. All right, excuse me. This is all my credit card, and the only reason I got slightly narked was because you fuckers were all like, Matt, can we have a podcast and can you pay for it? I was like, all right, cool, but you got to make sure you do content. Yes, you did.
I said to you,
you did.
Can we use the same network that you're using because that seems good? And you were like, yeah, I think so. It might cost a little bit extra. And I said, well, let us know if it did, and I'll look for sponsors. And you were like, no, don't worry about it. I'll just go into my Scrooge McDuck vault of giant coins and bring one out for you. And I was like, all right, Matt, no worries, mate. Cool. That's brilliant.
That's exactly how it happened, ladies and gentlemen. Word for word.
That's why he can't sell his house, because now he's moved all the coins out. They're like, is he some sort of prepper with a weird silo? And he's like, that's just where I store all my coin. And they were like, well, I don't see any coin in there now, mister. And you look a bit strange. So they probably just think you're a prepper. Don't worry about it. You'll sell your house.
It was more the fact that when you have downtime, it's like 6 months worth of downtime, and Matt's paying 15, 20 quid a month for 6 months of nothingness. And I was just like, as much as I'm okay that it takes time for you to get the creative juices flowing, paying for 6 months worth of podcast space, which you aren't using, is a bit
I tell you what. If we go more than 2 months with a gap, then I will send you each week just some lounge jazz arrangements. I will get the other half of Glitterwolf, Graham, to play some nice jazz piano, and I'll just sing stuff.
Right.
For
there you
10
go.
minutes.
There you go.
So there you go.
It's not much to ask. Some light jazz. That's all I need. Just some light jazz to fill it. I want elevator waiting music. I want some waiting music. Sort of kind of the Pitch Please cast will be back shortly. And
Mike is currently wrestling an actual bear, and we'll be back after the break. No, Sebastian.
I was actually talking about bears, and this is very random, but because you mentioned it, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast today, and he was talking to some guy, and he's into his hunting, unfortunately, and a lot of his mates are into hunting, and
but doesn't he hunt to eat? Like he hunts like elk, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think, and they do sort of in Alaska, and from what I understand, it's sort of like they have culling seasons because there's too many of them, so I can kind of understand it. But again, we're not overly pro hunting, to be honest. But
do you hang on? Do you eat meat?
I do. No, this is it. This is the hypocrisy of it all. Again, so I'm not. I couldn't do it, but then I understand the hypocrisy of the fact that I eat meat, and and I.
As long as you understand,
I understand.
Yeah,
it's like
I always come a cropper. Like I don't understand hunting for the sake of hunting. Like there's a thing, I want to kill it. Like I don't get that. But if you're hunting to eat, then I fully understand it. Yeah. And I'm in the position where I'm literally the son of a butcher, so I grew up, seeing fucking animal carcasses and I think I've visited.
And that explains a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely, yeah. And it didn't fucking make me different. But yeah, so if anyone ever asks a question like, oh, you eat beef, but you wouldn't kill a cow, it's like, absolutely I would. Absolutely I would. If I was hungry enough, and there's me via cow, then that fucker's going down, and it's as simple as that.
Part of me feels like I should, because I do feel like hypocritical. That I could easily eat meat, but I would feel sorry for killing it. So it's like I feel like I would need to do it just to sort of show, like, I'm not being a hypocrite. Now,
it's fucking hilarious that your Skype picture is you with an M249. It's like,
the irony of it all.
In serious heat, being like, yeah, I'd feel really bad if I shot anything. Like, whoa,
this is the irony of it all. Anti-gun, anti sort of sport hunting, sort of in that way. And I've got my profile picture is me when I was in Vegas shooting a massive gun. So, unfortunately, they are very good. They're very enjoyable to shoot. So I understand why people are very reticent to give up their guns, because it is enjoyable. It's just fucking scary, man. It's very scary. The fact some of them are just. We'll not get into it, but it is. Yeah. Anyway, the bear.
Have you ever shot and killed a man?
Have I ever shot and killed a man? No, I don't think so. Pretty sure I've not killed anybody. I've shot some targets. I'm very good.
I wasn't asking you. I was asking Bevan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. Hi. No, the most shooting I've done was sort of what do you call them? They fire the discs in the air, and you got a shotgun.
Oh,
clay
pigeon.
Yeah, that's as close to that as I've gotten. I did do like a zombie horror experience once, where they gave you these sort of paintball guns, and you run around sort of shooting these actor zombies. That was quite fun. But no, I've never shot a man deliberately.
Can't do that. Deliberate. I like the way you said deliberately.
Deliberately.
I only went once to clay pigeon shooting, and we never saw the owner again.
But anyway, I was listening to this podcast before we go off, and we were going to talk about some geek stuff instead of just random shit that we've been talking about for the last sort of 20 minutes or so. There was these guys. There were 6 of them. They're going out hunting. These guys talking about it, right? So they're all sitting there, and they said they were just being idiots because they didn't they didn't sort of do any lookouts or anything. They literally just had 6 guys in the middle of Alaska, in a forest, and they were eating. And this guy was all like, "Yeah, I'll just put my gun over here, and I'll sit here and I'll eat my sandwich, and then this
By
fucking
this bear rug.
yeah, this big fucking
That's not a rug.
yeah, pretty much this big fucking grizzly bear comes out of nowhere and charges them all, and it's like fucking, and he says he does this thing where he's like, I need to get my gun, and he goes for the gun, but by the time he gets to his gun, which is like meters away, the bear's there. So he fucks off, and you're not meant to run from bears. But he says at this point in time, because there were 6 of them, it's what saved them, because the bear got confused, and instead of sort of going, I'm going to kill this one guy here, he is here, and running away, 6 of them basically just scattered. Apparently, one of his mates ended up on top of the bear and getting trailed down the fucking mountain. So he says they all ran off. And then one of his mates got a hiking stick or something and clobbered it around the face, and it it didn't like this, so it sort of charged off. But something happened, and all they said is they saw was this guy, one of their mates, being trailed off, and they thought the bear got him, and and then they found him in a bush later on, and he was just all shocked, and it's like, what happened? It's like, I ended up on the bear's back and it was trailing me down the mountain, and everyone's like, how the fuck did you get on his back? But yeah, it was just holy shit. You've got
to get to level 50 and then you complete various bunches of side quests, and then it becomes available as a mount.
Yeah, but it's just that's scary, man. That's just that's mad. That's just how powerful those animals are and shit.
Yeah. Right, speaking of powerful animals, I went to the zoo the other day, yesterday, right? And I saw some adorable otters, except no, otters aren't adorable. So we saw a talk being given by the keepers, and they were like, oh, we do this stick training, and stick training is adorable. They point a stick, and the otter chases the stick, and they point the stick another thing, then they get it up on a log, then they get to hold it in its paws, and they make this sound that's like, meh! And you're like, oh, that's adorable. And they're like, no, we never get in with them because they'll literally kill you. And we're like, no, yeah, all right, yeah, cool, it's an otter. They're like, no, literally, it'll fucking kill you. And I was like, no, I don't believe it. So my mate sent me a couple of YouTube videos and was like, no, they're actually related to the honey badger, and they eat crocodiles. And I was like, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Are these the giant? Are these the giant ones, or are these the small ones?
No. These are just your average otter. They're horrendous.
I did hear that Terry Nutkins, Terry Nutkins, who used to do the Really Wild show back in the day. Yeah. Do you remember the Really Wild show? He had his finger bitten off by an otter. So, I was always a bit dubious when people were like, oh, look at the otter doing cute things with its hands. That's it, kind of going,
No, they're literally, they're relatives of the mongoose, the honey badger, the Tasmanian devil. They're fucking brutal. So that's something that I learned, and I was like, oh, okay, that's slightly that makes me sad. Also, people drink bear bile. That's another thing I found out yesterday.
What does bear bile do? What does that do for you?
I don't know.
Strength of the bear.
It's used in Chinese medicine. It's horrible. They capture they're called moon bears. They're the bears that have got the patch of white along there. They're fucking adorable. I saw 2 of them and they were amazing and I loved them. But people will take their bile and use it for ancient Chinese remedies and shit, and it nearly wiped them all out. Yeah, it's bizarre. Anyway, that was my trip to the zoo.
Okay. Well, I think I'm just messing with my my audio here. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to something more nerdy then. So Mike, you wanted to talk. There's 2 horror films we're going to talk about at this moment in time, and we've both not seen the other one. Bevan, have you seen Ghost Stories or The Silent? What's the other one?
Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. Quiet Place. Have you seen either of these?
I've not seen either, no, but I've seen the trailer for Quiet Place, and it looks fantastic.
Are you going to be? Are you bothered about Mike talking about it?
No, go for it.
Right. Oh, well, I'll try and keep it as spoiler-free as I can. But the movie does have some problems, and the biggest problem I've got with it. So, firstly, the movie's incredible. There's about 5 minutes of dialogue in the entire thing, and it's been a long time since I've watched a movie and I've had to put my hands to my mouth and be genuinely on edge and feel my heart in my chest, and also hate everyone who opens a packet of anything, because the movie is so quiet. I've never opened a chocolate bar so slowly in my life. I'm there in the cinema going,
Have you noticed when you do it really slowly that it's super noisy?
It makes so much noise. Yeah, but I didn't feel like I had the requisite agility to just go for damn Twix. So I had to do it slowly. But yeah, I haven't watched a movie in a long time that's made me. Wreck was the last time I felt this on edge.
That's the one with about the firefighters, is it?
Yeah. There's like a building and everyone gets like super rabies, and that was fucking harrowing. And I remember watching that on a laptop, and then I had to cross the hallway to go to the bathroom, and I was genuinely terrified. I'm like, they're gonna get me.
Wow.
They're gonna get me. I was like 20. But yeah, that movie was harrowing to watch. But this movie was just tense as shit until the end. But the biggest problem I have with it is the fact that she's pregnant and they're like having a kid. And I'm thinking, right, you live in this world where like everything is fuckoed. Like we don't know how much of the human population is gone, but everywhere's empty. And you know, it's very post-apocalyptic. Like, and they start at the start of the film, they're in a pharmacy, right? Which brings me to my second point. Like, get contraception. Like, I get that you've got to be close and you've got to keep morale up and all that kind of shit. But you're bringing in a screaming bundle of mess.
Ben Fee wouldn't have a chance.
In a world where everything has to be silent because the monsters hunt based on sound. Like, you're just tempting fate. It's just stupid. And it made me mad. Like, the minute I was like, she's pregnant, I was like, for fuck's sake, really? Like, surely you'd wait until, you know, the situation improved. Like, what the fuck are you doing? They've already got 2 kids. So all this, like, you know, future of the human race, well, you've got 2 kids. Like, send them off when they get to a certain age. Yeah, man, it just really, really pissed me off.
Could have just pulled out.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
See, condoms are only 99% effective. So if you have sex 100 times, you're guaranteed to get pregnant at least once. So
It's not
I'm sure that's not how it works. Is it? Is that how it works? Shit.
No, it's not how it works.
That's right. Panic.
But yeah, like it is tense. The sound design is phenomenal. The plot's a little, like I said, the ending's a little convoluted. But IGN did an interview with John Krasinski, I think that's his name, the director / lead actor in it. And the script that he originally had was what he calls a sandbox. So he had this world where it was like, there's these monsters, they hunt by sound, and he got all these rules, and he's like, holy fuck. And he sort of just took the bits he liked, and him and the guys who originally wrote the script kind of made the movie. But yeah, it's super fucking good and genuinely tense. It's a movie. It's more an experience than a movie, and that's kind of what wanky film writers are saying at the minute. But it's true.
Does it have a payoff at the end, or is it kind of like?
Yeah. No, it does have a really cool. It's a very Hollywood payoff, but it does have a payoff, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. It does subvert the a couple of Hollywood tropes, but it's still a bit of an ending where you're like, okay, right, okay. I loved it. I loved it. It was an absolutely phenomenal film. Yeah, everyone should go and watch it in a cinema if you can put up with other people eating popcorn.
I'm just about to say, I think that's one I'd have to wait until, because you're always going to get that bastard who's bringing in the boiled sweets, isn't he? He's just, really? Why are you crunching him, you twat? He's supposed to suck them.
Well, but, that's your fault for going during OAP weekends.
Damn you, butterscotch fiends!
Well, I went to see Ghost Stories, which is a new British horror film that's come out recently.
That's allegedly incredible.
Yeah, well, see, this is it. I went to see it with my missus, and she loves her horror films and stuff, so she was very excited. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, give it a whirl. We went in, and it's scary. It's a scary film. It's very, in those sort of British ways. It's quite atmospheric. It's well sort of filmed and stuff. There's a bit of humor now and again, but when each story has like basically a ghost, a monster sort of thing, and it's fucking it's freaky. Like, there's a bit in it, you know, where like this kid, he's stuck in the forest, and he basically gets sort of there's what do you call when it's half goat, half man, sort of
a satyr.
A satyr, yeah. Well, basically, he hits one of those, and then it fucking
with a stick.
But it's just like there's a bit in it where it sort of gets into the car with him and like puts his hands on him and goes, "Please stay," and he's like, "Fuck this," and gets out of the car. I mean, it's just like it's fucking amazing. But no, but the thing is, at the very end, I won't tell you the end, but it has this very divisive ending. And my girlfriend hated it. Like, she came out of it going, that was really good until that ending, and it just ruined it for me. She didn't enjoy it. And I came out of it kind of going, And it was sort of like, I wasn't sure what to make of it. And then everything clicked into place after thinking about it. It was one of those films where at the end I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. And then I started thinking about it. And everything within the film. Have you ever seen The Babadook? Have you ever seen the film The Babadook?
Yes.
Right. It's like
I hate the kid in The Babadook.
The Babadook. It's kind of the same sort of similar sort of like you need to think about the ending sort of thing. And it's like the whole thing. It's basically signposts everything from the very start, but it takes the ending for it to tie everything in.
Well, it's written and directed by the guys who did League of Gentlemen, and they're fucking brilliant at foreshadowing. And
this is it, because the guy Andy Nyman, he does the stage shows for Darren Brown, and the tagline in it is the brain sees what it wants to see, to the point where they actually spelt ghost stories wrong, but people were just saying it as ghost stories because they weren't sort of thinking about it. They were just saying what the brain would see. And there's loads of really good bits in it where there's like the Night Watchman, who is Paul Whitehouse, and he's like, it's really fucking freaky, where he's in this old sort of women's hostel, and something keeps him turning off the lights, and he's hearing things, and he's got his torch, and he sees this like face sort of kind of bobbing up and down, and sort of kind of it's hard to sort of explain, but it's like it's got a hood on, and it's doing something, and he's getting closer, and you're like, shit, and it turns out to be like a mop. And it's sort of a thing on top of a mop and stuff, and it ties into a lot of the stuff that Darren Brown does about, you know, your brain sort of tries to make and the whole thing, man, it's scary. It's a scary film, and it's very freaky. And like one of the scariest bits in it, and it's not even that scary in sort of your generic way of things. It's like he's in a house of the second story, and the house is just like dimly lit, and it's quite quiet, and the kid's a bit weird, and the whole thing just makes you feel slightly uncomfortable. And it is. I think some people will hate it because the ending is just not what you're going to expect in any way, shape, or form. And you might kind of go, what the fuck? What just happened? But as soon as you get that ending and you think about it, everything else just clicks into place, especially, the background. And it's like, and at the start, I was like, I'm not sure if I've liked this or not. And then as I thought about it, I just loved it, and I've written an article about it. It's massive. There's like, I just went through, I analysed the shit out of it. I just went through everything that's in it, and I was just like, and this happened, and this ties with this, and it's like, blah, 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 and I was just like, holy shit, there's so much in this film. And yeah, so I loved it. I thought it was really good. There was a few bits in it which they don't overly explain. Again, I won't say what they are, but there's a few bits in it, and it's like, well, I know they don't explain everything sort of overtly, but you know, you can get sort of inference from what's going on throughout the film, where there's like there's a bit in it where you're just like, I don't understand where that ties into the rest of it. But maybe it's something I haven't picked up on yet and stuff, because there is other bits and pieces like that. But yeah, definitely an amazing. It's Martin Freeman, isn't it? Yeah, Martin Freeman's really good. Paul Whitehouse is amazing. You know, he's really good, and even the guy Nyman, you know, he's really good. You know, just the whole thing. You know, really enjoyed. Really, really good. Definitely worth a go. Cool. Yeah. Okay. And the ending is, like I said, if you like thinking about your horror films, if you just want, like my girlfriend, she likes like Wrong Turn and all those sort of weird like Jeepers Creepers and things like that, where it's like very Americanized. You get a payoff at the end, basically either they think they've killed the monster and then at the end it sort of opens one eye and it ends, or the monster basically
the end question mark.
Yeah, the end question mark, or the monster kills everybody and goes on. You basically get a conclusion, whereas this one you don't get a conclusion really. You do get a conclusion, but it makes you kind of question everything that you've just seen, and you're just like. And I can understand with people who just want a scare fest, who just want to be, who just want to jump and don't really want to think about their horror films, won't like it, because you literally go, what the fuck just happened? And then suddenly you've got to start connecting dots the whole way through it, and then you start tying in things. You're going, oh my god, that is from there, and that's from there, and then understanding obviously where Nyman's background is and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh right, holy shit, that ties in, and it just becomes amazing just through your own mind connecting the dots, and it's really good. Really enjoyed that film. Yeah, really good.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, one to look out for then.
Yes, 100%. Yes, yes.
Cool.
Talking about girlfriends, she just messaged me. Good night, babe. Good night. Good night, lover. Kiss, kiss, kiss. We were just at
Romance 101.
As Mike was talking about the medieval banquets. We went to one last weekend in Ruthin Castle, which the Wees paid for. Thank you very much, Michael. I didn't pay for it, though I am paying for one. To be honest, we're going. It's my mum's birthday coming up, and she wants to do one, so we're bringing my mum to one. So.
And how many rounds of £15 will that be?
six months worth. Six months worth, Michael. But yeah, so it's such a good experience to do these things, because you can dress up and you get mead and you get traditional music. My only issue with this one, it was the castle's amazing, and there was no dragons, but the castle was amazing, and they had traditional music and everything, and they had sort of like Welsh singers singing songs in Welsh, like medieval songs and things, and that was really good. But they had, I don't know why they had her, but they had this pianist, and playing music myself, I'm not sure if it was just me being, overly picky, but she was just hitting bum notes left, right, and centre. She was so loud in the mix. So basically, she had like her, and they had this guy and this traditional sort of like, it's not a bagpipe, but it's like, the descendant of one of the bagpipes, or medieval sort of bagpipe type thing. And they had a boron and all these other things, but all you were hearing was meh, 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 meh on this fucking horrible keyboard. And I was just going, is she drunk, or is she just shit? And it was just like, come on, man, this is fucking, you've got all these traditional singers and traditional instruments, and then she's got this shitty keyboard that she's murdering in the corner. And I was just like,
maybe it was a protest because the pianoforte wasn't around in the medieval times. It was, in fact, would have been a harpsichord.
Yeah, well,
she knew that, but the owners were like, well, just fucking bring a keyboard or whatever. And she's like, I'm not just bringing a keyboard. I want to bring my full harpsichord. And they were like, well, Janine, you're going to bring your keyboard or you can fucking lump it. And she's like, lump it, I shall. Lump it all over these notes. Fuck you. This is stupid.
But
maybe she was trying to be historically accurate.
But there was a bit in it, and I found it quite. I chuckled to myself. But there was a guy beside us, and they were with the group, and they were two guys were very drunk, and one of them was he looked like he was like a drunken baron from the time. Like he had a really good sort of kind of costume on, and he was fucking drunk, and he had it sort of like dripping out of his beard and stuff, and he started kind of going over to Louise and stuff, and like trying to chat her up and things, and I was like, holy shit, am I actually going to have to call this guy out with my foam sword and challenge him to a duel because he shut up? And it was just like, hello, sir, this is my woman. But it was just amusing because I was just sitting there going, this is going to be hilarious because I'm actually going to have to do something in a medieval thing. He left, so it was fine, but it was just, I just chuckled to myself. It was just amusing. But yeah, you should go. They do a lot. There's one in Kubabi, which we're going to, and it's brilliant. This one was in Rutland, which is in Wales, which was good. And bar the pianist, it was good. But I really enjoy them. I'd only been to one recently when Louise bought me one for my Valentine's Day present, and yeah. I'm going to a kid's. This doesn't sound good. I was going to say I'm going to a kid's birthday party at the weekend, but I'm going to my.
You finally got invited. I'm so happy, man. Well done.
I'm going to
so proud of you.
My girlfriend's kid's birthday party on Saturday. It's one of these places which is just all trampolines and shit, and you've got like gladiators where they have like the pole and you've got to knock each other off and things like that.
I can't do shit like that. I get too competitive.
Yeah, this is my problem. I'm sitting there knocking kids off.
Yeah, like you've got to fucking learn. Do you know what I mean? Like they can't go through life getting a participation medal. They got to learn at some point.
The only awkward.
It would happen in an RPG. You wander into a level, into an area that's too high a level. You get your ass kicked. The game's not going to go. Oh, well, you didn't know. You just respawn back to where you started. So it breaks.
Oh, no.
I'm king of the trampoline mountain. You're not. Sit down.
So I'm giving up a 2-day tournament, Warhammer 40k tournament to go trampolining with my girlfriend's daughter. Unfortunately, the father's going to be there. Me and him don't see eye to eye. So.
Oh my God! Settle it on the gladiator trampoline.
Yes, please.
Fucking glorious.
Yeah.
Yes. You have besmirched my honour, and you're a cat. A cat. Honestly, it's fucking glorious. And then film it. Vlog the whole experience.
You're not
like Gary, Geek Pride here. I'm trampoline fighting my girlfriend's kid's dad. It's pretty cool. He managed a pretty strong second half, but I think I've got him in the final quarter. Get back, you bastard! It'd be brilliant. Just bring it like a GoPro. It would be amazing.
Pitch that to Channel 5. They would totally be all over that.
That would be, yeah. You could do, X versus X, and you just clobber each other.
Just call it Who's the Daddy?
Yes!
Oh my God, that's epic. That is so good. Yeah.
Right. Well, fucking, you're the one with the production value. Let's get it happening.
Who's the daddy?
If we just hang around the Jeremy Kyle studios for all the rejects who are that fucking terrible that they can't even get onto Jeremy Kyle, and there's like 12 dudes, one woman, they're all like, I'm that kid's dad. You'd be like, lads, there is a way to sell this, and we will give you 50 quid and a biscuit. And that's gold. We sell that. Challenge TV. We'll do reruns on Challenge TV, and Craig Charles will do the fucking voiceover. So that's brilliant. We can sell it to.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it'd be brilliant.
I think it has to be the guy from Come Dine With Me. I think his sarky sort of commentary would work a bit better. I think I like him. Okay. I think he's good. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Craig Charles would do a fantastic job.
Well, he used to do Takeshi's Castle, didn't he? He used to do the narrative.
That was the joke I was making, because they do reruns of Takeshi's Castle on Challenge TV.
Yeah. Well, it's back again, though, isn't it? Takeshi's Castle. We've got new episodes of it, apparently.
Yeah.
I think so, yes. Indeed.
Or we get Brian Blessed. Just because it's always a good idea.
Matt's alive!
He's absolutely twatted him! And then, let's watch that in slow-mo! My daughter! And there's like...
Yeah. Unfortunately, the first hurdle we would have to get is the fact you're not allowed to film anybody in there. They're a bit iffy about you filming other people's kids and stuff like that.
After dark. We'll slip the janitor a £5. That happened in my local ice rink. There was some guys who they're like locally sort of famous. There's a guy called Disco Boy, and what he does is he wears tiny hot pants and not a lot else, and a hat, and he has a portable disco, and he'll just go into like Asda, and he's like, big up the Asda massive, and just sees how long he can stay there and rave out until he gets kicked out. And he does that at Morrison's, Asda, just all your best supermarkets. And then he went to the Gillingham ice rink, and they filmed a thing. It's available. You can watch it on YouTube if you're that bothered. But they just hid, waited for it to close, and then spent the night in the ice rink. dicking about on.
I saw one
Zamboni.
where they did one where they just hid in a leisure centre with a one of the flumes.
That's my local. Yeah, that's my local leisure centre as well.
All right, okay, I saw that
I
one.
don't know if it's the same guys or different guys, but yeah, that black line swimming. They did that as well, and then they just opened the door and the alarm went off and they ran away.
Right.
So yeah, that's why there's fuck all to do in Medway. So this is how adults entertain themselves.
All right, okay.
There's no medieval banquets.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. You're just not looking for them.
Maybe
Does Medway not have any castles?
Yeah, Medway's got loads of castles, but we've got I say loads. One. No, we've got a couple. We've got Upnor, we've got Rochester, we've got Cooling. But Cooling's owned by what's his face? The guy who talks funny. I am so annoyed. Fucking what's his name? Jules Holland. Jules Holland owns the Cooling Castle. Rochester Castle's a national heritage area, and it doesn't really have any floors anymore. Like you can walk around the outskirts of it, but there's the floors gone. And then Upnor Castle is fine, but it's not particularly big. So there might be, but like Medway's not exactly a economically affluent area. It's not really where people would decide to go for a banquet.
They've got a Ninja Warrior place in Manchester now as well, so you can kind of run around and do all the Ninja Warrior stuff. I was like, I'd love to do that, and then I realised my cardio is bollocks, and I die before the first ring. I'd be like that one where they sort of jump from side to side.
Yeah.
Sounded a lot more like your orgasm noise than anything else.
Why do you know what Matt's orgasm noise sounds like, Ben?
Shh, Bevan,
Well.
don't say anything. Don't say
going on,
anything. And of course we've got the Crystal Maze as well. We've got a Crystal Maze experience.
My friend Mandy is a maze master at the Crystal Maze in London.
Oh, cool.
She's fucking great. She also guested on a couple of Glitterwolf tracks. So she's got a lovely singing voice, and she's in. What else is she in? I'll just plug everything she does. She's in something called Opera Lele, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's opera and ukuleles, but not like the Twinkie Twonky. I'm going to whistle and clap in every advert sort of ukulele. It's like just playing it like an instrument as opposed to a corporate tool. And they're quite funny, so you should check them out as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so before we scoot on, I guess we should talk about Infinity War, which is coming out next week. Any predictions on how it's going to end and who's going to get offed?
See, I think my money's probably on Iron Man for some reason. I just get the feeling that he's kind of, he's coming to the end of his love for the character. That's the feeling I get from Robert Downey, and maybe this would be just like a nice send off for him to, sort of off him up once he's sort of given Spider-Man that cool suit. I think he gives him in Homecoming, is it?
The Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, I think maybe the mantle will go, because didn't he already give up the mantle once to?
Yeah, I think
Potts or something.
Yeah.
So my money's on Iron Man.
It would be quite interesting foreshadowing for Iron Man to be the one who closes the breach to like an alien world, because he was the one that I mean, he's sort of it'd just be like things repeating themselves, and Marvel likes to do that. Everything's a cycle, so maybe. But I think it'd be quite sad to see him actually die. I think they were trying to get him to kind of start his own West Coast Avengers, and then that sort of just didn't really do a lot. So maybe I think possibly maybe Cap's got to die.
Well, obviously he's dead he died in the comics, didn't he? After Civil War, he was assassinated by Crossbones. Is it Crossbones? Is that his name? The guy he's actually in Civil War. Is it Crossbones? Yeah. I think I said.
I think so. Marvel's not my forte, unfortunately.
Yeah, he got assassinated by him. But that being said, he came back, didn't he? And he's an agent of Hydra or something at this moment in time.
Well, but Bucky's been. It's been foreshadowing that Bucky's going to kind of take over the mantle of Cap for a while. Like you've got that end scene at the end of. I think it is Civil War, where the end of Winter Soldier, where he's in the Captain America museum, and then you've got that shot of you've got the glass of the container, and then you see his face, like where Cap's face would be, and you're just getting like little shit like that, and that's what happened in the comics. Falcon's been Captain America, Bucky's been Captain America, so it would make sense. And then for him to, he's got that beard and he's got a different costume, and it would suggest that he's becoming another iteration of Steve Rogers. When Steve Rogers became sick of America, he became the Nomad. Which was originally quite racially insensitive. He kind of just was like, I'm a Native American now. You're like, no, Steve, that's not how that works. You can't just say you're a thing and then you're a thing. You are. I
identify as Native American. Thank you.
Therefore, I would like a cut of this casino money. Thank you. But yeah, like he's got the beard and stuff, so that would be interesting. I think. There's some rumors that like he's got access to one of the I don't know what, again, Marvel's not my forte, but I know Thanos is looking for one of the stones, the Soul Stone, I think it is. Yeah. And the fact that Rogers was able to like grab the big hand, the Infinity Gauntlet, and Thanos is like, what you talking about, Willis? I imagine that the rumor is that like maybe Cap's got the Soul Stone and that's why he's got the thing. But they also reckon he might get an energy shield. There's a Hot Toys exclusive Captain America figure, and they teased in the marketing. They said, "Oh yeah, he comes with his weird like T'Challa shield, and he comes with this, and he comes with this, and he comes with hidden weapon." And it's a secret. It's a secret thing that Hot Toys aren't going to announce until after the films come out. So maybe that's like that could either be like an energy shield because I think in the comics he loses his vibranium shield and he gets an energy shield that was created by the Wakandans. Yeah. Wakandans. So maybe Shuri or Shuli, I've forgotten her name, could create like an energy shield for him. But it could be a Soul Stone. It could be.
Well, see, there's one missing, isn't there? Because you've got basically, you've got the I don't know exactly which ones are which. You got the purple one, which was in Guardians of the Galaxy. Ronan had it. Was it Ronan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure which one that what stone that was. I'm sure somebody can. The purple one. Well, we're just going to go through the colours here, and you can hate us for not knowing.
That's the Power Stone, isn't it? I think that's the Power Stone.
Then, obviously, Vision has the
Mind Stone.
Mind Stone, yeah.
That's the Mind Stone.
Then you've got the Tesseract, which is the blue one. So
Space Stone, I think.
Blue Stone.
Blue Stone.
The Blue Stone. I'm just going to name them. So the Power Stone. People are just going, "What are you talking about, you bastards?" So that's 3. Then you've got the
Dark Earth, the red thing. That's like the Life Stone or something. The red one.
Where is the red one? That was from
the power that was in Thor: Dark World.
And then what's his name? Doctor Strange has the time stone. Yeah, the time. I know that one. It's the Time Stone. Yeah, so he's got that one. So there's one more. I think there's one more.
Yeah, the Soul Stone, the white one.
Yeah,
I think it's white. Yeah, so that's what I think. That's what he's like. Look, that's what he's coming down to look for. That's what the whole premise of the film is. But they've been very tight-lipped. Sorry, they've been very tight-lipped about it, and the Russo brothers issued that statement, didn't they, saying like, if you are the first to kind of see the film, then don't spoil it. And even in press events, they've only been giving out 26 minutes of the film.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like the last big press event they had, they were going, it would be remiss. We haven't even shown the press any advanced screenings, but it would be remiss of us for such a special occasion to give you guys. They did this long rambling thing, and they said you're all going to get to watch Infinity War, and everyone goes mental. And then they showed the same 26 minutes, and then apparently went on this like long rambling, like you've got to email this guy, and then you apply for this form, and basically it means you get a free ticket because you attended some event. Yeah, it was apparently really funny. There were like there was a cosplay competition, and the guy who was running the event gave it to like some kids who bought like Asda own brand like Spider-Man outfits, and there were people there who would obviously spend far too much time and effort, just like really pissed off. Which I always take a
turn of like
sick
Batman.
joy in. There's just a dude like in a really expensive Batman. Like, what? I'm an Avenger now. All right, buddy.
Well, they say that the reason they haven't given out the name of the next one is because it sort of ruins the ending. Well, it sort of spoils towards the ending. Sort of.
Avengers Infinity War Part 2. Sorry, Cap.
Yeah. Dead Cap. Daniel Delargy on Facebook says, Josh, we need to do the supplementary podcast to sort these fools out. All right, fine. We didn't know the names of all the stones. All right, nerds.
How about you get fucking life, you nerd?
This is it, man. When you guys were doing your I was listening to your podcast, your Marvel podcast about Spider-Man and things, and I was sitting
Mate, I hadn't a fucking foggiest
yeah,
idea.
and he was just like, so this is Spider-Man 2590, and I'm like, yes, that's Spider-Man, and I'm just like, and they asked you, he's like, yeah, do you like his suit? And you're like, yes, I like his suit. It's like, I had to look at it, I googled it afterwards, and went, oh, it is quite a cool suit.
I got to I tried to throw him a curveball because I don't know a lot about Spider-Verse. I knew it was just a big event, and they said all the Spider-Men in there. I said I'll throw him a curveball because I know that the 1970s Japanese version of Spider-Man, Spider-Man, which is literally how you say it. I'm not being racist.
Yeah.
Who's got like a giant leopard, like Power Rangers robot. Brilliant. And he's like from hell, and an alien gave him spider powers. It's glorious. Watch it. And I remember saying to Callum at the time, I was like, "Yeah, they've got Spider-Man." He's like, "Yeah, they've got Spider-Man." I went, "Well, shut up. Hang on. What? Incredible." So I had to go and look that up. And yeah, in the comics, there's like this big fight, and all the Spider-Mans are fighting.
There was something about a pig spider or something.
Yeah.
Pig spider.
Spider pig.
Peter Porker, Spider Ham. That's a real thing.
Oh wow.
Spider Ham is a real thing. Yeah.
Wow.
That's all I've got to say about it. Like, I'm not going to go into the lore, but there is a Spider Ham. He's been a thing for ages.
I kind of when Ben was doing, we're going completely off topic. Well, you might as well carry on. But when Ben was doing his Captain Britain thing, I kind of wanted to stand up and go do 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 because he was getting really sort of like, yeah, it's about unity and and British. Yeah, this is what Britain should be about and all this. And I was just like do 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 do.
And I just don't care unless we can get some prog rock.
Yeah.
Prog rock is British, and as far as I'm concerned, if it's not about ale beards, rock, and I don't care. Yeah.
Amazing.
I still think Ian Anderson as Merlin is inspired casting.
Oh, that was shot down. He was like, no, and he said if it was ever made
into to spite me because he's a dick.
Yes, he was. Oh man, wow. Okay, so back to Infinity War. I have a feeling that the next one will be something along the lines of the New Avengers and stuff, and it will literally just be a case of, like, I reckon they'll have... Actually, this is another one, a rumour I heard, that but the reason Hawkeye isn't in the promo pictures is because he might be changing into another character called Ronin. I think he's called Ronin as well, or the Ronin or something. And the reason he's not in it is because he turns into this other character, and that's why it's like a secret sort of thing. So he might be in the New Avengers, which would probably be the start of the next phase of the Marvel universe or whatever it is and stuff. So it'll be like Black Panther, Vision, the Ronin, and I don't know if they'll get, Bucky Cap.
It'll be Bucky Cap.
Bucky Cap and the female Iron Man, maybe. I don't know if they.
Riri Williams. That would be fucking incredible. That would be a really cool interplay between not Tom Holland, Peter Parker, and Riri Williams. Like those two characters. That would be quite a nice little thing to do. Unless you just want to bring back Gwen Stacy, because my heart, my soul, Gwen Stacy.
I have to say, I quite liked, and again, I'm going back to your podcast, I quite liked the idea of the Callum had of bringing back the old Spider-Man, so like... all three of them and stuff, and having them together. I was like, wow, that people, they should do that. I kind of like when they do it in sort of TV series, like they have the old version of them sort of back again.
Mate, there was a really meta episode of Batman the Animated Series called The Grey Ghost. I've probably spoken about it on this podcast before, but the there's a series that Bruce used to watch as a kid called The Grey Ghost, and it's like this kind of 50s pulp adventure, and it's like The Adventures of the Grey Ghost, and Adam West does the voice for the Grey Ghost.
No way.
So in the animated series, so these are the layers of meta. So we're watching Batman the animated series. Batman really loved basically Batman. And then the actor who plays the character of Batman that Batman is watching is Adam West. And so then Adam West gets captured by a guy who's obsessed with the TV show, and he saves him. And then so Adam West has been like, "Thanks for saving me, Batman." And then Batman's like, "Oh, I'll do anything for the Grey Ghost." And you're like, it's like fucking, just super cool. It's a super cool episode. It's like 20 minutes of your time. I highly recommend it.
Talking about sort of like old sort of celebrities, the Hoff's doing farm food adverts now. Have you seen these?
No.
He's basically, I don't even know what the relevance is, but he's like, the Hoff is sort of sitting at a table, you know, for anybody who doesn't know, like, it's like a budget, farm foods is like a budget sort of, like an Iceland sort of thing, isn't it? You know,
amazing.
And he's sitting at a table with this very sort of beautiful looking family, and they're all having a laugh and holding up signs, and the Hoff sort of kind of hitting them with, you know, like prices and things. I was like, this is such a bizarre advert, and it's just really weird. It doesn't have any relevance to the Hoff whatsoever that I can see. It's just,
that reminds me of those
running out of money.
Or the Sly Stallone when he did, was it Warburton? It's time to earn my crust, and he's just sort of running across cars and shit. Just like, that was fantastic. That was just so out there, but you just sat there going, yes, do that again, please.
Didn't Pamela Anderson do like a Walker's advert or something? Did she do a crisps advert or something?
Maybe.
Or I can't remember what it was. It was like a sandwich thing. It was like a promotional thing, and she was in it. Well, yeah, can't remember. But there you go. But there you go. Dilly Dilly! I quite like that advert.
Dilly. That drives me nuts. I hate that advert.
Dilly Dilly!
Dilly Dilly. Drives me mental.
No idea.
The Bud Light, the Bud Light one, where they're basically, it's medieval, and it's got I have no idea why it's this, but basically it's these people giving the king Bud Lights, and he's like, you are a friend of the crown, Dilly Dilly, and he's like, everyone goes Dilly Dilly, and he goes, and then this guy comes up with, like, you know, this bottle of something which isn't Bud Light, and he goes, what's that? And he's like, this is a thrice fermented spiced wine that I'm really into at the minute. And he goes, so Sir John's going to take you into the Dungeon of Sorrow. Dilly Dilly! It's really random. Yeah.
Okay.
Random adverts.
No.
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 Yeah,
Dilly don't.
Yeah, for a reenactor, Bevan, it must be horrible for you. Horrible.
They didn't even have Bud Light. They only had normal Bud. This is fucking horseshit.
They didn't invent beer till the 18th century when they crossed a potato with it.
Speaking of which, I've just ordered today actually some winemaking yeast and some balloons, because I am going to attempt to create mead, because it's super fucking easy, and you can make it. You can make it so. I was looking at it, pissed with a friend, and I went, "Make your fucking meat. That's like wellies. That's like water and like honey. That's fucking. I can do that." So we started looking it up, and we're like, "Oh, we need a carabon, and we need those like little bubbly things, and all that seems need pressurized and all this stuff." And then we watched something called what are they called? We should give them a shout out because they're brilliant. The Modern Rogue, I think they're called. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then it will change in the description on iTunes or YouTube or whatever. But I think they're called the Modern Rogues. And they did one, and they're like, right, there's two ways of making mead. And like one guy's got all the equipment and all the stuff. And then the other guys have got 2 like 5-litre bottles of water, a pound of honey, and winemaking yeast. And they literally went blur, blur, blur. Then the best way to, because you've got to get rid of all the air. that's expelled from the yeast, and that's how you make the alcohol. Blah blah blah. Otherwise, you get vinegar. If you let oxygen in, you just pierce holes in a balloon, put it over the top, leave it in the dark for like a month, and it will just ferment and become that. Then you put that in a bottle, seal that bottle off, and then leave it somewhere for 9 months. You have mead. And I'm like, yes, I want to make mead like a hillbilly, and I want to get drunk at Christmas off my own supply.
What would you call? What would you call your mead? What would you name?
I don't know. Like, mate, I want to call it like if it's successful, then I'll start doing it like as a thing, and then I don't know, call it like strong mead or strong beard or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't thought yet. If we'll have a chat, Matt, and if I'm any good at it, then we can look at trying to create some Geek Pride mead.
Yes, that would be epic. That was so good.
We can bottle. We'll work out like what a take. But again, it might be terrible, and I'll have to do it properly. And this could take years. But yeah, well, you heard it.
My mates made some beer themselves. You can get like what's it called, Wilco's or something. They do sort of beer making stuff. So
yeah. But I didn't want to spend £100. This is like a £5. And right. if I can make 5 litres of mead for a £5 that's like really tasty, then I'm sold.
Sweet, quid's in. There you go. Quit Absolutely. The job, be a mead maker.
Do you know what? I'm thinking about it. If it turns out to be good, then I'll just be one of those guys. Because the actual mead making process, not that hard. You just got to kind of sit around and wait. So I'm good at that.
I'm good at sitting around and waiting.
Oh no, it's like the dream. It's kind of like the English enterprise dream. If I made enough mead to fund my obscure prog career, then that would be glorious. And then I get enough of a following from the obscure prog career to sell the mead at the prog gigs to make extra money to spend on more mead and more stuff to prog. And then glorious. Basically, trying to cash in on that late 30 to early 50s men in England. That's my demographic. If I can hit that, then not a problem.
Mead is quite nice. Like, I've got some in the house.
I love mead.
Yeah,
I love mead.
I don't like those super strong, because I'm not a huge fan of honey, but there's certain ones with different spices and things in them which are quite nice. I had one at the weekend which was good, and I had a bottle I got from Leeds Armoury, which was very nice. But yeah, give it a whirl, see what happens.
I love National Heritage Armouries because it's the only place you can get mead and a weapon.
Yeah,
like, brilliant.
I got some awesome goblets, some mead, and there was a suit of armour I could have bought, which I didn't. I was tempted though.
Like what a glorious day! You go, I'm just nipping the shops. Do you want anything? Milk? Yeah, all right, I'll get you some milk. So then you come back in a full plate armour, a mace, 4 bottles of mead, and like just one of those little like 50p jugs. And you're like, there's milk, darling. I'm off. What's that? The Normans are attacking again. Incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Leeds
Surely there's lots of things up your way, Bevan, that you can do that. Lots of artsy-fartsy history sort of types.
Well, we have got a reenactors group that's quite local, but we're just too terrified to go down there. But they're more sort of into their longbow and that kind of thing. Yeah. Which is, fun. But I actually have a longbow. I own I can't remember what it was called. But it's got like it's like a 2 different types of wood inside, so that you've
composite
got different, something like that. Kind of, yeah. But it sort of changes the compression and tensions based on whether it's in the belly or on the back. And I'm terrified to get it back out again. So it's been years, and I don't know if you know, but with like a wooden longbow, you literally have to it's almost like a masturbatory motion that you warm them up with to get the wood to sort of become supple again, and then you string it, and then you can use it. And I'm terrified because this bow costs like over £100, and I'm sure after the 4 or 5 years it's spent sort of stored under a bed, it's just going to go, and there'll be bits of it everywhere, and maybe I'll lose an eye, and yeah.
Yeah, but if you stored it for 5 years, that's £20 a year.
I suppose.
How much would you spend on fireworks? If it's going to explode, then...
Yeah, but a firework might not kill my eye. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you could also then just grow a hench beard and have an eye patch. I don't see a problem with anything you're saying.
Oh, mate! When we were in Bulgaria for a stag do, the tamest.
To lose an eye?
No, but let's move on. It was the tamest stag do I've ever been on in my life. We have a bunch of my mates. they're all like my mates. He's Chinese, well, British-born Chinese, and they're all of his mates, and they didn't drink, and they just kind of went skiing and had early nights, and like there was one night we sort of kind of got them drunk because we forced them to do it, because we're like three Irishmen with nobody drinking with us and kind of going, what the fuck is going on? So kind of forced them to drink, but we were in this place, and the band who were doing sort of like, you know, like soft rock covers, the bassist had an eye patch, and I thought it was like he was just dressed like a pirate, but it wasn't. He was actually he just had an eye patch, and I was like, I have never seen anybody rock an eye patch properly before that wasn't dressed as a pirate, and he was loving it. It was just like playing bass with his eye patch, and I was like, is that fake? And my brother's like, nah, he was walking down the street with it earlier, I saw him. I was like, fucking hell, that's epic. But yeah,
the parrot is, though, that's completely
got to see an eye parrot.
Yeah, seeing eye parrot. Yeah, brilliant.
That's what a seeing eye joke is one of my favourite jokes in the world. So a blind dude walks into a supermarket and he picks his dog up by the leash and just starts doing this. And people are running over and go, what are you doing? The dog's going, "Rah!" And they're like, stop that, what are you doing? And they just hold him down and like, what the hell do you think you're doing? He's like, I'm having a look around. And I love that. Like, that joke just makes me happy.
Oh man, it's sort of, it kind of reminds me. My mate told us a story. He was in university, and there's just be this blind fella in our Salford University, and every lunchtime there's like this. It's sort of near the Students' Union, on the top sort of end of the Salford University, where the Students' Union is. They built basically what was a walkway. They built like a garden type thing, like a flower bed thing in the middle. Now this guy, and my mate said he was waiting there every lunchtime. He'd sit outside on the wall and he'd eat his lunch, and he'd see this sort of blind fella with a stick, sort of, you know, walking away, and it got to the point where I think he knew where he was going because he had been there so many times, and he saw this fella one day sort of walking towards this sort of flower bed, and he was like, he's got to know that's there. Oh no, he doesn't, because he's blind. And then he was like, shit, can I stop him, because I don't want to offend him, because obviously you don't want to sort of disempower them or whatever and stuff, you know. He's got a stick, you know, maybe he'll figure it out. He says he didn't do anything. He just watched this guy go headlong, face first, into this hedge. And he was just like, he just went, oh shit. And it was just like, it was one of those really tragically funny moments, because he was just like, I kind of wanted to help him, but I didn't want to offend him by helping him. So he literally went straight into this thing, head first. And I was just like, oh dude, that is so wrong. And he was just like, I know, man, it was really wrong, but it was kind of funny at the same time. So yeah, it was really, yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm really, it was one of those sort of like, ooh, that's really bad. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, I mean, that horrible story that Matt does not endorse. Yeah, we'll move on. Okay, so it's been an hour and 15, so we'll end it on that really horrible. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, maybe we need to end it on something else. I feel really bad for saying that now, but oh my god.
Have we had any comments? What's been going? What's been guaning?
It's basically been Josh and Daniel calling us idiots for not.
What's fucking Josh got to say? Let's have a go. Josh always got something to say for himself, right? Let's have a little look. Josh, our inaugural. He opened up a brand new wing of the Geek Pride machine.
Did he?
Yeah, he was the first Geek Prider to review fast food.
Yeah, our Josh, you know, he if he can get a frickin' bone, he'll get one.
You could have guide cats. If it rained, you'd spend half the day under a car. Well, I mean, that is true, Josh. That is true. He tries. You do. God loves a try, mate. I fucking admire your moxie. You're a very well connected man.
Yeah, to be honest, in his defense, he has got us some very cool stuff. And
Yeah,
at
man.
this moment in time,
I've seen.
what we're getting a Thanos Infinity Gauntlet 1-to-1 scale. Condom, yeah. Speaker, Bluetooth speaker. So that's going to be given away at some point in time. So it's going to be reviewed.
It's a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, so it's basically on this like plinth thing, and it's like just the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's a Bluetooth speaker, and it lights up and shit.
What? Why?
Why not?
Why is that? No, don't. Why not? Don't fucking.
Don't tell me, Mike.
Stop
If I offered you, I said, "Here, Mike. What do you want this 1-to-1 scale Infinity Gauntlet that lights up and is a Bluetooth speaker?" You wouldn't go, "Yeah, fuck off. I don't want that," because you would totally want that,
mate. I'll have it if it's going, but purely so I can go on my own YouTube channel and go, "Why is this a thing?" Like, I don't understand. So, like that went through. That was a thing. That was a decision that someone made. There was a room of people, and they were like, "Okay, so marketing and merchandising for Infinity War. Carl, we've seen some great Hot Toys figures. That's great. Hidden weapon. Yeah, that's great. Julia, you've got the female contingent. You got some sweet clothes going on there. And Barry, what are you bringing to the table? Well, Paul, hear me out here. You know Thanos's glove? It's called an Infinity Gauntlet, Barry. No, I know, Paul. I know. But his gauntlet, it lights up. Yeah, no, well, that sounds great. So we set that out for children? No, Paul. A speaker. What? A speaker? Yeah, you can listen to the fist. What? Yes, Paul. You can listen to his fist. But where? How? How did that? How?
Listen to my fist.
It just sounds like something like a fucking that sounds like something a schoolyard bully would say. They'd be like, "Oh, are we listening to any music at the back of the bus?" Yeah, you can listen to my fist, and then like punching it in the ear. Like, there's nothing about Thanos that makes me think Spotify playlist for when I'm sad.
I know, but just think about it, right? So you got yourself your nice pad, in your lonely shelf behind you, Michael. So
I've just been dumped. I'm on the sofa. I've got Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Alexa with a pair of googly eyes and a giant fucking fist. And I'm like, Alexa, play All By Myself. And I'm just sat there while this fucking fist is lighting up, being like, all by myself.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can wear it, though. That would be hilarious if you could wear it. And you could just sort of kind of have it on your fist and you sort of carry it.
And it can be a Bluetooth speaker. I'm more sort of behind it. But I'm imagining just a big block of plastic.
Yeah, I think it is. It's on a plinth and it lights up and stuff. I'm not sure. If
you can wear it, it lights up. Bluetooth speaker, and you can just walk around conventions and be like, "I can feel a new day rising. I can feel it in my heart," and you're literally fist pumping the music out at people. Glorious. That's
neat. See, the first place I went to was. Is it the YMCA music? It was you got to do the whole young man that thing.
Young man,
the fist with that.
My glove, I said it.
So, talking about singing, my missus has entered me into a karaoke competition on Friday without my knowing, and I can't even sing. So it's just like she's one of these girlfriends / mothers who thinks that people that she knows, if she likes them, whatever they do is amazing. So it's like I could be singing the worst rendition of anything. She's like, "Oh, you're so good, babe. Oh, brilliant." I'm like, "I'm not," and she's like, "Oh, you're so good."
She applauds you regularly.
Do a rap.
Basically, the only thing
that's the poor singer's choice. Rap.
The only thing I do well is "Fuck Her Gently" by Tenacious D, and that's just because I do lots of motions and sort of like this air grabs and sort of pointing and stuff. and that's it. I think she kind of gets confused with the I can't sing and the it's hilarious to watch Mac sort of humiliate himself sort of on stage and stuff. So yeah, apparently I'm in Marble.
Yeah, but she's seen your band, so she's used to that.
Shot fired.
I don't sing. I just play guitar. But yeah, she does the whole because she's not into heavy metal in any way, shape, or form. She does the whole like, did you enjoy that? Yeah. It was, you guys are good. Like, yeah, you didn't like it. it's like my mum.
Sorry, Josh has just messaged me going, "You want toys, you bearded fuck? I'll get you toys."
And by toys, he means sex toys.
I love aggressive love.
So what he wants is he wants a Thanos butt plug. He wants a Thanos butt plug.
Amazing.
A Thanos butt plug. You know,
see now that's a viable. That's the shape of a tiny fit. Like I'd get that. That's a viable thing.
It's the wrong shape. It will get stuck.
Well, no, it's not because you've got the glove bit at the bottom. It's got imagine like a fish, right? So you get the fist here, and then there's like a cone that you could retrieve.
You'd have to ask somebody else to retrieve that for you, surely, because they'd have to rub their hand inside and just sort of.
No, it's not like a hollow glove. It would just be like a plastic or rubber latex like.
All right.
Fist.
So once it's gone past the wrist, right, basically you're stuck.
So you can place it in your ass.
The suction and the.
Sorry, Louise, I can't come over tonight because I'm doing some really important podcast stuff. We really got to hit some important topics. And then she's just like having a scroll, and we're like, yeah, giant fist.
And then it lights up and starts playing music. Oh, fantastic! Disco Aces.
You're right. Yep.
The vibrating, the bass, and you can turn the bass up to sort of stimulate. Oh no! I think that's sort of an amazing idea. Unfortunately,
I'm just being called. I'll be all right in a minute. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I wish they'd go to voicemail.
Oh no!
Oh my god! So Daniel Delagi's just messaged me saying the Mad Titan giving you pleasure that's out of this world. But I've just thought you wouldn't. You all you'd call it is the Mad Titan.
Hey, very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, clearly we need to take the. I don't think there is a Disney sex toy division, but we need to make one. And I think that 3 straight white men need to be designers for Disney sex toys. I think that's viable.
Wow.
I think it would work. Josh, you have the connections. You can make it work. You can test it for us. That's fine. That's doable. So look. This has been a very productive meeting, gents. We've had 3 business ideas. Right? So that's glorious. Each one as viable as the next. And it could all just work together. We could just do a con at the end, and you'd be like, see the stars of who's the daddy, fucking Dropout number 5 and Heroin Addict. Right, they're there. They can sign things, and then over here, Chris Hemsworth, who's probably been killed off in Infinity War, he's out the job now, but still as buff. Lots of women will go and see him, and then they're going to be so horny from seeing him, they're going to want a little sex toy. So we'll have the sex toy booth at the back on the way out, like a gift shop. But also the gents want a little something, so we get them some Geek Pride mead, and we basically own the world.
Wow, that's an amazing plan. And we should talk this over and talk numbers, get the bank involved, and go for it. Fuck this shit. Let's go for Infinity Gauntlet.
Can't you just take a big dive into that Scrooge McDuck money pit? or can't you? Do you have to tell it what you're getting the money for first? And it's like a little Jiminy Cricket. It's like, I'm not giving you money for sex toys. I imagine you've got your own version of Gringotts with like a little goblin who's like, Master Geary.
Yeah. I just have basically my mate Russell on this shoulder, and then for some reason he's also on this shoulder. So like, it's like, dude, you should totally buy that with your credit card. I'm like, no, I can't. I need to stop buying stuff with my credit card. Yeah, and then the other guy's like, no, don't listen to him. You should totally buy that on your credit card. And he's been like that for years, man. It's like my reason that I'm hopeless with credit card debt and money is because he's just like, dude, you totally need to buy 3 of those. And I'm just like, what? Yeah, and I listen to him, unfortunately. Right, okay. Let us end this here because it's been an hour and a half.
This year?
An hour. End this here.
Sorry. Yeah. Let us end the year. I'm like, oh fuck! I've been in a coma again. Shit, it's happened.
All right. You know what we haven't done? We haven't done in a while. Your song titles. I started doing that to a guy in work, by the way. You know where you start doing a song thing? I was like,
yes.
Gav. And he's like, what? And then I would just sing. Well, not sing. I would say a song thing. And he's just like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just
amazing.
Like, yeah. And I'd even get paper on my desk and go, Matt Geary, BBC News. And it's just like,
don't stop. Never give up. Hold your head high and reach the top. Never. I don't know the rest of the words to that song. I was going to like really kind of go into it, and I've failed. I've let you down. I've let Bevan down. I've let the podcast down.
And Bevan hasn't done an Arnie quote since the last time he was on here many months ago.
Yeah, so if you could do that, that would be great.
Yeah, you need to find an Arnie quote right now and end the podcast with it. A good one.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Bevan was like, yeah, in his little Bevan voice. That's glorious.
My little Bevan voice. Oh.
I love the fact that you went, my little Bevan voice. Like, yeah, that one, literally that one that you're doing. Right, that's just my voice. I know. That's why it's brilliant.
I'm talking at you. Yes. Oh well. I wasn't prepared for this.
Have you got the? Did I tell him to do this last time? The ram my fist into your stomach. That one.
No, he did. He did the Conan one last, I think.
All right. Okay. Hang on, Bevan. I'm gonna find it. Right. Vamp while I find it. Hey.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah.
It's because I've written Army, not Arnie.
Speaking of one eye, has anybody watched The Tick?
No, actually, I have it on my to watch list though.
Ah, right. Because there's a bad guy in that. She's only got one eye. She's called like Miss Lint, and it's because she's always covered in like bits of like fuzzy bits and things like that. Which I thought was quite funny.
Bevan, I'm going to put it in the podcast group chat, and you can just if you just read that out, that'd be great. Thank you.
Swell.
Okay. Just in your best you voice, please.
So I just start talking like me.
Just read that out. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
You could deliver the line, please.
Okay, sorry. Serious face now. I live to see you eat that contract, but I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine.
That's nice.
Oh.
Where's that from?
It's from Commando.
Yeah,
it's of Commando, or it's Running Man.
Running Man, I think.
Brilliant.
Because I'm trying to think in Commando, his ones are let us some steam, Bennett. What other ones he's got? Obviously, I'll be back. Does he have another one? Does he have anything else? Oh, my friend! No, don't wake my friend. He's dead tired. What? What was that one? We had the one that says, "Don't bother my friend. He's dead tired after he broke his neck." Yeah, and then you were Sully. I let him go after dropping him off a cliff.
My all-time favourite line is when he impales someone with a machete and just goes, "Stick around."
Yeah,
and runs off.
Yeah. That was the first Arnie. Like my dad had this sort of thing for Arnie movies and stuff when we were kids. Like, even though we shouldn't have been watching them, where there was always an Arnie film. So I just remember watching, like, Predator, and then that thing just stick around, and it's like, that's epic. And like every week we had a new Arnie film. And it was just like Commando.
I've just been reminded of something that ties back to what we were talking about earlier, but it's like super dark. So I cannot do it, or we can end the podcast on a really dark note. It's entirely up to you.
Go on, hit us with the dark note. It'll take away from my horrible joke that everybody's going to hate.
All right, okay, fine, cool. So you mentioned earlier the satyr who like put his hand on the knee of that kid and was like, stay.
Yeah.
I've just been brewing in the back of my head. I was like, why does that ring familiar? Because when I was a child, no. So
gosh,
satyrs and centaurs in Greek mythology were known to do horrendous things to women and human beings. En masse, if you get my meaning. There would be groups of them, and they would do things to humans. And that plays out in an incredibly dark way in the Harry Potter books and films, when Dolores Umbridge is in the forest, the Forbidden Forest, and the centaurs all gang up on her, and you just hear her screaming. You're like, oh, they're taking her away, and they're going to beat her up or whatever. But it's kind of implied that horrendous things happen to her. So when they're back in the hospital and Ron makes the joke to Harry, he's like, oh, she was with the centaurs, and he goes, and she freaks out, and they laugh about it. It's actually super dark. Like, they're just like these three little wizard kids that are just like, we know what happened. Fuck you, Dolores Umbridge. But it's fine because she's horrendous. But yeah, that's super dark. But that's just a little bit of mythology facts for you.
Wow.
That's just been brewing in the back of my head. Sorry.
Oh no!
Wow.
Speaking of brewing, Geek Pride mead out soon.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Need to think of a catchy name for it.
Nice little segue. Yeah, we'll think of something. Genuinely, we'll have a chat about it at some point. We'll try and find out. We'll have that wanky hipster conversation where we're like, what does Geek Pride taste like? What does nerdery taste like? But obviously, I want to make sure I can actually make the stuff before I start promising it to people. But after the first batch, I'm going to start. I'll make like 5, and then we'll just put like cherries in it and fucking whatever. So it'll be good. Anyway, cheers for listening, everyone. You're all lovely.
Yeah. And on that dark note, I've been Matt Geary. He's been Mike Orvis. He's not gonna say, yes, he has. And the posh man below is being Devin Clatworthy.
That'll be the name of the pub we open.
The posh man, yes.
The posh man below. We sell Geek Pride mead, and if you tap on the door 3 times and ask for Sandra, we sell the special toys.
And if you ever opened sort of like a sex shop or a one of those sort of sex show sort of places, you could call it the posh wank.
Hey!
Is that when you keep the glove on? Or is
Yeah, your driving glove.
imported leather, of course. Weed on the cuff.
You just play the theme tune from Mrs. Marple.
So this is going to be the last thing before we go, but it just sort of kind of reminded me when we were in university. Obviously,
put in a posh wank.
Yeah, well, having a posh wank, as you do. But,
all of us together, like lads.
Like lads, biscuits.
Come on, gents. Let's get it on.
Well, obviously, her, my missus doesn't think that, men watch pornography, but when hardcore pornography was legalised in the UK, everybody in my house at the time, and this was including a couple of lasses as well, decided we were going to go down to Tibb Street in Manchester and purchase a blue movie. But we went into one of these really dodgy shops, and there was like 5 of us, and we all piled in giggling and shit, going to buy some porn and stuff. And obviously, this guy, there was one of these, like, basically wank booths. These things, you go in and sort of like the shades. So you see, there's like, you go into one of these things and, bust one out, bust a nut in these things. And this guy not realizing that there was 5 giggling teenagers basically walking into the sex shop, came out of the said wank booth and got completely flustered in his like trench coat thing and sort of panicked and sort of kind of went and ran out, and we're like, what the fuck just happened there? But yeah, that was really amusing. Not so amusing when I sort of lent said porn after I got bored. I just kind of watched it and went, that's kind of boring. Gave it to my mate, forgot about it, and then I was getting taken home by my mum for the summer, going home from Salford back to Northern Ireland for the summer. My mum would come pick me up to get all my stuff, and I was packing everything into the car, and my mate comes out, Matt, you forgot some DVDs. I was like, no, I didn't. And he's just like, yeah, you did. I said, man, I've got everything in the car. He said, no, you forgot your DVDs. And he put these DVDs right in front of my mum.
That was the fucking long play. He knew that was going to happen from the moment you bought that porn. He was like, firstly, I'm going to get a free wank out of that. Secondly, I'm going to destroy your fucking drive home. That's brilliant. And he just Give that man a beer.
Boom. And I was just like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Kev. And he's just like, man, but you lent me to this, thanks a lot.
Before in all my years.
And my mum's just like, ooh, no, and I'm just like, and yeah, it sort of kind of ties into, you know, like mums who sort of know things are going on and don't say anything. It's like when I was, again, young, I don't watch porn all the time, contrary to what my missus might think. I don't watch porn. I was 18 years old, but yeah, so the DJ in the metal bar in Belfast was called The Venue. It's not closed down, but a guy called Kenny, he lent me some porn. I was, 18-year-old kid, so I was watching this porn. There was like 3 videos, days and videos, so 3 or 4 videos, and I sort of was the tail end of when I was going to go back to Manchester, or go to Manchester for university, and so I watched one of them, and then went, all right, okay, so put it in a bag, put it upstairs in my room. It's just lying on the side. Forgot about it. Went to university. Forgot about it. Came back in the summer. I went, shit. Those porn tapes, I better give them back to Kenny. I went, shit, where are they? And I went in my room and I was like, fuck, where are they? I started looking around, and then there I saw them on my bookshelf, alphabetized. And I was like, oh no! My mother's alphabetized my porn! I was like, oh no! She didn't say a word. Did not say a word. She just literally...
that is the best.
And you know what's even worse? Because my mum is from Oxford. My mum's posh, like Bevan. My mum's like... She's from Oxford. She's quite posh. She's not into any of that sort of thing. She didn't say a word.
She fucking is, mate. She fucking is. Oh my God.
Bubble Butt Slut 3 is just not a good movie,
It really lacked the nuance and mise-en-scène from Backdoor Bitches 4. Oh my God. That's fucking brilliant.
So that was it. Yeah, so it's just like, yeah.
That really butters my onions. That's fucking great. Oh my God.
Right, on that embarrassing note, we're going to leave it there. So thanks very much, everybody, and good night.
Love you.